Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of magnetic servants. And this greeting has been brought to you for over 19 years. And before that time, there was no greeting. Before that time, there was no evidence that such a thing could be, where the magnetic master would come to this planet and speak to you as I do now. Oh, there were those who channeled Kryon before my partner. And they were the forerunners, and they are greatly blessed. Some of them are now on the other side of the veil, for they knew the energy of the magnetic master. And they saw in their wisdom the potential of this day. So I will say to you now, I am as close to them as I am to my partner. But for 19 years, this is the voice that has greeted you. And in this time, there has been a growth and the wisdom and the clarity to bring you a message like we bring today. And in this time, this entity you call Kryon has never, ever been able to say this day would come. For it was always in the purview of the human being. It was always in the ability of free choice for the human being to claim this potential. Oh, we saw the potential. But we didn't know if you'd do it or not. And so this message is given to you at this time to give you an inkling of what has transpired in the transition of energies between 2007 and 2008. You might say it is the follow-up information given in 2008 that we could not give in 2007. You might say then it is the new information of what you have created that we said the potential for was there. Let us present a linearity to you. Going back in time, a review of what we had said before for those reading, for those listening. For it was not that long ago we gave you the message that the transition you see right now between 2007 and 2008 is a transition numerologically from 9 to 1. For even the simplest of numerology, when done, computes 2007 as a 9 and 2008 as a 1. And the 9 and the 1 together, back to back, create a situation which only happens each decade. But this is the first time it has happened in this millennium, and it is the last time before 2012. And it's special. And in the last channel, we told you that it should have shouted to you that it might be different, and you should look for it. And many didn't. We told you in the last channel that the learning of spiritualness is not linear. That is to say, it does not follow the paradigm you might expect, the one you teach. And we told you that what you expect is that learning grows, that the jar fills up slowly, and that you use the knowledge in a linear fashion that you have gleaned in a linear way. And if we told you that there'd come a time when the jar would be emptied for a moment or two, that all of it would be taken away from you in order to refill the jar, and the jar would change colors and shapes, and what was in it would be enhanced, you'd say, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, that's because you don't understand the non-linear fashions of the way learning takes place spiritually. It is a mystery. Is it a puzzle? Yes. So we ask for you to absorb this. Here's the fact. In review, the nice part about this is that some of you have already experienced this, and now it's over. So I give you information which is past for you. The last 4 months have not been pleasant. To some of you, it seems that the very essence of your core spiritual truths have been withdrawn. Things were not going as they should have. Some of the tools you use simply to maintain sanity were withdrawn. Some of the things you really count on: a sweet countenance, non-judgmental personality, wisdom of the ages, a shamanic wisdom, was not there when you needed it. We even mentioned it is the fact that your culture celebrates the holidays at this time and that family comes together is the additional test. I think some of you know what I mean. What a time for your wisdom to be withdrawn. For your wisdom caused that situation where you were able to hold your tongue at the right time, and perhaps some of you didn't. And you look back on it and go, where is the patience that I learned over the years? No, this was a withdrawal. We told you in the last channel that as 2008 progressed, especially into the middle of the month of January, that these things would start to not only be replaced, but enhanced. And so it is this channel that will go into a simplistic explanation of the enhancement of the energy in a non-linear fashion. That is to say, things that have happened. Be careful, my partner, because you cannot see these non-linear things. Energy that has been accessed from a place which was not recorded in a linear fashion. That is to say, you may not feel you've earned it. You may not see where the time frame would support the learning. Not understanding at all that it comes from a central place where there is no time. Therefore, it is placed upon you in a way that is not expected and not in 3D. Let me tell you what some of them are. And now I'm going to itemize with great joy some of the things that these human beings in this room, listening to this, reading this, have wanted for so long. This is the year 2008 for it. My partner stood on a stage in Israel many years ago, and I gave him information to say to those who spoke Hebrew and Arabic in the room. When they cried out and they said, "When will things change?" And I gave my partner the information that he was to state and say that not until 2008 would you start to see a shift. And now some of you will understand it is here. And why it was spoken so many years ago. That the potential was always here. The transition from 9 to 1 was always there. We foretold this and gave hints of the potentials along the way. And some of you caught it and some of you did not. And here you sit in the middle of it. There are new tools. There are enhancements. And the beauty of this message is it is not just for light workers. The earth is shifting, if you noticed. Number one. Many of you are now going to start to make sense of what formerly was chaos. That is to say, the very way that Spirit works with humans on this earth, which has seemed chaotic, which has seemed accidental, is now going to start to make sense in a way that will make you more comfortable as you count on the answers coming as you need them. It is truly a shift of dimensionality of the way you think. Literally moving more into my side of the veil. With an understanding in your mind in a way you cannot then justify in 3D literally what is taking place. And what this means to you is you're going to be a lot more comfortable in your skin. Even those of you who call yourselves light workers, those of you who call yourselves metaphysical, we'll start to see the planning, we'll start to see the potentials, we'll start to see how chaos isn't chaos. That's a gift. For up to this point, it has been very tough. In a three-dimensional state, in an old energy, for you to make any sense at all out of the answers that were coming your way. Blessed are the humans who have sat through this learning all of these years and have had to have such faith. My partner has given you a phrase that says, 3D shouts and faith whispers. And what he means by that is that your reality, that which you expect, that which you are taught, that which is everything you are, shouts at you. But the ways of spirit that are outside that, they're in that interdimensional space, it whispers. And so what happens is 3D always wins. It drowns out the little voice of the whispering that says, listen to the love of God. So what we're telling you is this, dear ones, that the shouting of the 3D is going to start being reduced, and they're going to become more equal. And you're not going to have quite as much trouble in the transition. That's number one. Number two, extremely important. Number two, something you probably didn't expect. Number two, something you probably didn't even know. I will give you an axiom. The ones with the lowest self-esteem on this planet are the light workers. Did you know that? And the ones with the lowest, often the healers. And you wouldn't expect that. So these are the ones who are in touch with spirit. These are the ones that have the gifts. But they sit in an energy that does not support them. And when a human being sits constantly in an energy that is uncomfortable, they are uncomfortable. And the 3D-ness of their personality is affected. And self-esteem is one of them. And we have said this before. We know who you are. And you may carry your head up high. But we also know what you do when you're alone. We know what you think when you're alone. We've heard your cries, why me? Is this ever going to be solved? Will my family ever understand? Will my partner ever understand? I want to tell you something that's going to happen in the new energy. This energy is shifting. It's going to be the great equalizer. It's slow. Oh, dear ones, it's not going to happen overnight, but this is the seed of it. This is the beginning of it. This is much of what you've been waiting for, light worker. The self-esteem of the light worker is going to start to come up to their magnificence. And that's because they're not going to be in an energy anymore that is against them. It's going to be in an energy that supports them. Slowly, you'll start to feel it, where Gaia and you are aligned in the same reason. And that is the potential of peace on earth. That is the potential of much, much greater wisdom and leadership is upon you. Look for this everywhere. And the first to feel it will be the light workers, and you will celebrate. And I challenge you to celebrate. I challenge you to build a statue somewhere for the energy that is shifting that you have done. Now that's going to be counterintuitive to everything humans do. They only build statues, something bad happens. Maybe it's time to shift that consciousness. Why don't you make a memorial to what you've accomplished in some way and celebrate it? At least blow up a balloon somewhere. Oh, Lightworker, do you understand what I'm saying? You've come of age. 2008 is a one. This is a new beginning. You're going to start receiving the support you've always wanted. That's number 2. Number 3, you're going to start seeing the bigger picture. And it's about time. Picture this. The attributes of learning and spiritual path walking in the old energy had you clueless and in the dark. Until you reached that place where you needed help, and that's the place at which you were delivered the solution. That is the map that is talked about in that fable called The Journey Home that I channeled for my partner 9 years ago. Expect that to change. The bigger picture has you seeing beyond the problem. The bigger picture puts you in a situation that is more non-linear, and that is to say that you are less constricted by the timeline from past to future. That is to say, you're more comfortable seeing into the now. For the now is an energy that does not honor or respect linearity of time. Number 3 is saying this. The solutions that are going to come to you in the future are going to be more expected. They're going to make more sense to you than what you have seen in the past, because you are seeing a bigger picture. These concepts of which I give you now are advanced, and some of you do not understand them and may very well wish to listen to this again, may wish to read this again. If I had to summarize it, I'd say that the light worker is going to be more comfortable with himself, his relationship. Number 4, healer, stand back. Because the things that you have are about to be enhanced. Oh, it may take a while, but I will tell you this, that the things that are the most spooky to those who do not believe in what you're doing will become more mainstream. Expect science behind energy work. Expect those to come to you from places you didn't expect, because what you have works. And when it starts to happen and you can say, yes, I see it happening, blow up a balloon, please. Celebrate it. Oh, dear ones, I'm telling you that when you do this, when you acknowledge, when you have ceremony around these things that are happening, even those are enhanced. It's like you are acknowledging the things you didn't expect. Healing will be easier. Now, for the non-healer, I know who's here. I know who's listening. I know who's reading. You want to heal yourself? Is that why you're here? Is that why your eyes are on the page? Is that why your ears are here in the chair? Is that it? Is that why you came? This is the energy for you. It's not an accident you're here. For the things you've been told that you can do are yours this moment, this day. I want you to acknowledge them. Celebrate your healing. And know that it is yours. Turn back the DNA to the time before the disease was there, before the problem was there. See it pristine and pure. Understand the non-linearity of healing that is metaphysical, that is, it is not time dependent. Is it possible to rewind the DNA? Yes. There are those who have been doing it in this room for some time. They know. And what I'm saying is it's going to be easier. Why? Because the energy of the age is upon you. Because the magnetic grid has been postured since 2002 for this. And now it is yours. Oh, Kryon, when will these things begin to happen? I'm saying they're beginning now. But you won't see all of these things all at once. You're going to see them as you work them. Let it be known that no human being can sit back on his heels and wait for the miracles to fall in his lap. Part of the issue here is that the light worker is going to be asked to get up and push on the doors. Find the synchronicity, which is the system, and claim the new energy, which is upon you. Number 5. It's going to be easier to connect to the higher self. Isn't it about time? There's a bunch of celebrating angels right now. And they're singing a magnificent song. I wish you could hear it. The choir is amazing. Nothing like the interdimensional voices, notes that cannot be heard with the human ear, lights that correspond with them. Sound so high it melds into the colors of light itself. And if you could hear the songs they're singing, listen. Listen to the lyrics. Oh, your name is there. And it's your angelic name. And what they are celebrating is that you have brought this about, dear human being. An age that was not predicted. An age that no prophet told you would occur. And there's so much evidence that you're sitting in it. I say again, where is that millennium shift you expected into Armageddon? I say it again, where is the doom and gloom that all said was going to be upon you? I say it again, where is all of that negativity? Oh, there'll be challenges, there always are. In fact, I'm going to enumerate some of them for you. You've lifted yourself out of an old energy that you've been in 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 years. And you put upon this earth an energy that no one expected, light worker. And the light that you have done has been less than 0.5% of the human race. That's how powerful it is. And if you're listening to this message and you have no idea what is taking place, I tell you this, you are so loved. There's no judgment of you. I know who you are too. Why don't you look at this, see if it's for you. You don't have to, it's free choice. But there's been a beautiful thing happen. And that's what I'm talking about. Number 6. You're going to feel much, be careful, my partner, much more comfortable in your light worker's skin than you've ever felt before. A relationship with Spirit is going to seem brotherly, sisterly. It's no longer going to be God and human being, if you want it. That's going to require some of you are going to channel. Are you ready? Oh, not out loud, perhaps. As I said, not for others in the room, as my partner told you, and I asked him to tell you. Don't be afraid of this. The words my partner used is you with you. They came from me. Don't be afraid of the love of God in your life. Don't be afraid of the transition in your life. Everyone sees change as so frightening. What if it's a solution to your problem? Is that okay with you? And that was number 6. Now let me bring upon these things to you. An itemization of some of the things that will come with the others that are perhaps challenging in their own ways and different. Even a proclamation of a new energy attribute will change my partner's life. Number one, the light that you have, you cannot contain anymore. It will start to be seen. And you thought it was safe. As long as you held that edge, right? You can't hold it anymore. Human beings will know what you're into. And they'll know what you're doing. And we told you of this day. We told you the battles between the light and the dark. We told you that there would be those who would not accept what you have. And there will be more in this age who will not accept what you have. And it just comes with the territory. You can't have the power and the light that you carry. You can't be filled with Spirit and the love of God and not have people notice. And you will be forced to explain it a little more than you are now. But Kryon, what am I going to do? What will I say? Shall I tell him I'm a light worker? No. Why don't you tell him you've fallen in love with God? Why don't you tell him that you've seen yourself in a different way and you're comfortable in your skin? Why don't you tell them that it's not threatening to their lives and it's just you with you? Let them see God in you and not be frightened. And number two is that they will be frightened anyway. Light does that. In an earth that has been postured in a dark energy for thousands of years, that suddenly has light in it that it never had before, it scares all the darkness. Scares it. There will be those who wallow in the dark, who enjoy all the dramas of their life, who are victims and enjoy being victims, who will run for you, run from you, run from you. Because you carry something they don't understand. And the irony is that what you carry could heal their lives and stop their drama and lift them up, and they won't touch you. Because they're afraid they're going to be burned with what you've got. Powerful you are, watch for this attribute. And you won't understand it. You will say, why is it that they don't like me? Why is it that suddenly there's such resentment, betrayal? It's fear. Fear of a light. A new attribute is upon you. Watch for this. Will it affect you? Of course. If you expect it and you know what to do and you think about it, you'll be prepared. And you could look at them and you could give them a choice and you can say to them, do not fear the love of God. And they have free choice. But fear is this way. If you've wallowed in it forever, you're in the groove. It's all you know. And so many will reject what you have. Send them on their way and bless them and love them. You can't heal the world, dear one. All you can do is let your light shine, and the ones that see it accept it, and the ones that don't run away. That was number two. Number three is a message for my partner, for all of you to hear, for every single one of you to hear, so that it is known. And that's important, because if I just told him, he might not tell us all. For years, I have given him the admonition about media. For years, I have told him it is inappropriate to channel in mass media, especially what you call broadcast. That is to say, that linear broadcast that is not requested, that flies through the air, that you pick up if you randomly choose a channel, for instance, or a station, or a frequency, and you pop onto it. And there you find Kryon speaking. It's inappropriate, and it still is inappropriate, and he does not have permission to put any long channeling on the air. That is not to be done. Oh, there may be a time. Not now. But he has permission at this time to do two things that he has never done before. And that is to put samples of channeling on the air. Snippets, if you would say, sound bites, if you would say. And he has permission also for the first time to go into channel one-on-one and have interviews of Kryon. And he's not going to like that. It's part of the new energy. It is part of a general public ready for acceptance and rejection. And there will be many who see him as the clown. And I will tell you, it is the love of God that has postured him for this. And it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I only have two more. In this series of channelings, number 4 of challenges, that is, number 4 is this. It's going to be a whole lot harder to fake it. Because there's going to be a lot more people and human beings of both genders that are going to see the lights. They're going to know if it's real or if it's not real, if it's being faked, if it's not being faked. And many will be revealed as doing it inappropriately, without any energy, without any entities, only themselves. Get ready. It's about time. It's about time. Look for the integrity of the love of God in every single word. Look for the integrity of the love of God, which would shout love for humanity, which would shout those things which are non-competitive, which would shout acceptance for every single human being who listens without judgment. That's the God that you know. That's the one that you're in love with. That's the one who washes your feet today. It's not compartmentalized in doctrine. It doesn't matter who's listening to this. There will be those who would hear this and say it's got to be the devil. And there are those who will hear this and say this is the love of God. And it is the consciousness between the two that is the free choice of the human being. And I would like to tell you that this entity called Kryon is in love with humanity. And would never bring you a message that is inappropriate or filled with doom. Only one that magnifies the magnificence that is here in the room, and those who listen call humanity. And you can't look at this and say it's inappropriate because it doesn't follow some earthly doctrine that you have made up. You can't do that. Feel the love that is here. And decide for yourself outside of the boxes that you were taught within. Let your heart do the decision. And you can't fake it. And the final one is this: prepare for shift. It's been coming. You've had the channelings. It is the great shift. This is it. The beginning of the preparation for what the Mayans told you would happen as the year shifts into the year 2012, which is only the signpost that comes by in your timeline that says you are moving now into a new energy that was foretold by the ancients. It's going to be different. For those of you who don't like change, it's going to be fearful. And so prepare for it. All these things I bring you are good, positive, filled with light. Even the change part. Even the reactions of humans to you part. For it will increase light on this planet. Preparation for something we have told you long ago is potentially possible even in your lifetime, and that is what you never expected, and that is peace on earth. Watch for a changing Middle East. Oh, it won't happen immediately, but it's there. I speak now to those ears which are Hebrew. And I'm telling you this, that your time is starting to come. I speak to the ears of those which are Arabic and Farsi, and I say to you that your time is coming, and what you have asked for, what you've prayed for, is about to begin to be manifest, and that is a consciousness of compromise in a difficult land. It is upon you. Watch for it, pray for it, send light for it, be part of it, for it is yours to claim. Don't pay attention to your news. They're going to bring you the worst of the worst. They always do. They always will. Look for the other side. Be balanced. Well, that media right now will look for the worst thing that is possible, most abhorrent thing that has ever happened on the planet, and they will zero in and they spend all of their resources right there. They won't tell you about the other things that are going on right now in the Middle East. They won't tell you about those that are trying to build peace outside of the government. They won't tell you that there's hundreds of thousands of them on both sides of the issue that are coming together right now. Your news has never reported that. It's just a little too hopeful. And it's happening. Let us, as a human being who hears this message in person, in this room, for the challenge is this: walk out different than you came. Know your feet have been washed this day. In your time frame, right now, for you, accept the healing which has occurred in your body. Because that's why you came. I am Kryon. I would not say these things if they were not so. I am in love with humanity. And always will be. Until the day it ceases and we are all one again. And so it is.